You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Remember to that song.
Yeah.
You should go ahead and let that
Lame.
be the opening for our show right there.
Thank you for clicking play. This is the IT and the D Show coming to you live from Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. I am Nuri, the not B.O.B., because the real B.O.B. is in Denver for work.
Denver.
He found a Lions bar tonight.
But it says it's a
why?
Neighborhood dive bar, greasy food. So I feel like that's any dive bar.
I mean, he's in Colorado, so.
There's just a lot of sad people there. That's a Lions bar.
That voice is Dave the Geek. We're also joined by Randy, I do the Twitter's Walker. And tonight we have got some amazing guests. Our guests include Erica Langerand.
Oh, hello.
Elise Turner.
Hi.
Kendall Poindexter. Is that your real last name?
That is indeed.
I'm queuing up all the Revenge of the Nerds drops.
And Elle Gover.
Hello.
They join us from Detroit Labs, which is one of the most amazing places for development in downtown Detroit, and a multiple returnee of guests on our show. Always glad to have them.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have trophies for them.
Yeah. Where's my
Is that a
trophy?
participation trophy?
Just keep the Jaeger coming.
Hey, before we get rolling, check out the new Unscaled series from the All Turtles podcast. AI is changing nearly everything about the way that businesses grow and solve problems. This shift requires a new understanding of the word scale, and entrepreneurs need to pay attention. This 8-part podcast series looks at how startups and founders can use the new unscaled model to make products with impact. Listen to this provocative, we like provocative, new series at allturtlespodcast.com. That's all, like all the turtles, allturtlespodcast.com, wherever you get your fine podcasts.
Awesome.
As we like to say, everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Thanks for your support. And Dave, you can fire when ready.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress? Detroit?
Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up! Hey, Dad, how this is Pinky the genius, the real genius behind Pinky the Brain. And when we take over the world, the only show that people will be able to listen to is IT in the D with Bob, Dave, and Yuri. No!
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my boo-boos.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly. Come on. Try. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the TV show.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Professor Xavier from X-Men Evolution. Storm! Come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm.
You're listening to IT in the D.
Are we at a break yet?
Hey, everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT in the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
Hi, this is Ogre. You listen to a bunch of nerds on the IT and the D? Nerd.
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hi, it's Julia Montgomery from Revenge of the Nerds. I listen to IT&D, and I'm in love with a nerd.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT&D show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. IT and the D show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
I'm totally into Dave, but not
Right.
so much Bob.
This is Robert Hayes, the tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D show. Tough guy. Ho!
Hello, smart people. Yakko Warner here, and the only show we listen to in the water tower is Bob, Dave, and Nuri at IT and the D. Good night, everybody!
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. So, Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Welcome back to episode 264 of the IT and the D
This
show.
isn't the April Fool's Day show. That is the day. And IT and the D has been bought by NPR, nationalpublicradio.org.
Ella can do her NPR voice later.
Today on Sequel Talk.
While we were at break, Erica had some comments about the intro. Erica, what do you think of our intro?
I love the intro, but it's so long, guys.
Wait, was that a complaint or a compliment?
No, actually, I'm pretty because there's no part of it that I would cut, so I'm good with it.
I know, that's the hard part.
But this is episode 264 of the IT and the D show, brought to you live from Royal Oak, Michigan, the beautiful Podcast Detroit studios. I am Nuri the Not B.O.B. because the actual B.O.B. is out.
He's out in Colorado, man, doing his thing.
And Dave the Geek and Randy Walker, I do the Twitters, and that's awesome. So yeah. Tonight's episode of IT and the D is brought to you by Merit. IT security is imperative to every organization. But what happens if implementation costs are too high? Attend one of the largest cybersecurity training events in Michigan for free. Merit Networks Workshop will teach you a variety of low-cost solutions to simulate IT security problems within your institution. You can attend security on a shoestring in person at Merit's headquarters at one of the participating Cyber Range hubs, or attend online on September 27th. Merit's Networks Workshops are designed to provide training to IT and security staff on industry standards for security policies, best practices, and national frameworks. These workshops are provided at no cost thanks to Amerinet, ADVA Optical Networking, and Juniper Networks. Visit merit.edu/shoestring to register today. Once again, that's merit.edu/shoestring.
You people will never know exactly how much of a professional Nuri is.
He's very professional.
It's kind of like in that movie Swordfish when the guy's hacking the network. And
Was it kind of like that? Because I feel like I missed something if it was kind of like that.
you could probably isolate all like the moving of people in the background.
Right.
Like, I could hear it, but...
Oh, all right. So let's talk about, of course, let's start with the calendar from hell. So the calendar from hell. So we had free podcast day here Saturday.
I heard like a bunch of new shows are
So
now
we had,
signed
like,
up.
14 shows that ran on Saturday, of which apparently 11 have now signed up to start in the next 2
Holy
weeks.
shit.
How many is that total now?
I don't know.
Probably near 80.
A lot.
Oh no, we're
More than
Crunch
80?
the
Oh
numbers.
yeah, no, yeah, and that's not counting like the 6 new ones that have fired up downtown, yeah. Speaking of which, Thursday we have our podcaster meetup right up the street at Selena's, the little bar that we spend way too much time at after shows. If you do not have to be a part of the network to come out, if you just like podcasting or properties of podcasting, it's kind of demented and sad, but social.
Even if you're like podcasting in your basement and want to know how to do it better, what equipment to buy, or just ideas for guests.
Or not yet. You don't have to want to be better. Just come hang out and talk with a bunch of nerds that like to talk about podcasting. How bad? Like it's shit that you like is the shit that we like. And we're going to sit around and we're going to mock stuff and we're going to have a great time. And there's a bunch of drinks. I inevitably wind up covering a bunch of the bar tab. There's a bunch of food that gets brought out. It's not a bad night.
It's a really
You
great
think
time.
you should get the Zoom H4n, but we'll convince you
you're
to get the
wrong.
Zoom
You
H6.
should get the 6. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. And then next Thursday, we have our IT and the D event. We are over at Embrew. We love that place. All the beers, all the video games, all the pinball machines.
It's like 40 local Michigan beers on tap, and they rotate. I absolutely love Embrews.
They have really good pizza.
They do actually, with the little cupped pepperoni with little pools
They
of happy
now-
grease
The
in there.
best peps, the good peps.
Yeah.
They now deliver, actually. I saw them on Grubhub or something the other day. You can actually get
Don't go on a
Embrews pizza
weekend.
delivered to your house. But don't go on the
Don't
weekends.
go on a weekend.
No, never ever. And then oh God, I almost forgot. So then this Wednesday, Thursday, because Bob books us for shit and then goes to Denver.
Thanks, Bob.
I'm going to be at Secure World Wednesday and Thursday, hanging out with like Matt Thompson and some of the other peeps there. So if you want to come out and keep me company and keep me sane,
hacking and properties of hacking.
Yeah, a lot of people that aren't used to seeing the light of day. That's who's going to be there. It's gonna
If
be great.
you want to see me, I'll be at Digital Summit Detroit Wednesday, Thursday. Find me at the Daily Detroit table.
Oh my
gosh.
You guys are so mean
Shut
to
up, Brady.
Randy.
And then next Saturday, so then the 15th, we're out at Monroe Comic Con. For the love of God, we're doing another free podcast thing there. It's going to be another. The wrestling belts are coming. There's always karaoke. It's always drunk. Come play, have fun.
I'm pretty sure Podcast Detroit is bent on one thing. Podcast world domination.
We are. Well, just, you know what? Just Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
I'm good. I don't have to own the world. Just my little corner. That's all I need.
I like it.
I'm good. I'm good. And then, the 29th of the month, so at the end of the month, we're doing the, beer fest. I believe it's called the Oktober Fest, down at Detroit Shipping Company. So here's the fun part about that. You have like 3 different things going on from like 10 to 6. You've got a beer fest with about 10 different Michigan breweries, including, go figure, Falling Down Beer Company will be there. I know, such a shocker. And then from like, I think it's 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, go figure, drunken karaoke.
No.
And then at 8 p.m., DJ Glockenspiel takes over.
I've heard of him before.
And we turn Detroit Shipping Company.
That's Bob.
Into 80s night extraordinary.
Is that Bob's DJ name?
Oh yeah.
What is your karaoke song?
Mine. Usually, though, if I want to like make people's brain hurt, I do the Humpty Dance. Because I do it. Because I do it. No. I do it flawlessly.
Could you practice right now?
I have many voices trapped in my head.
Wait.
None of them are white.
Kendall, the intern, just said, "What is the Humpty Dance?"
Wait, what? That's what happened?
Apprentice.
Oh, sorry, not intern. Apprentice. I'm correcting my notes right now. Demoted to intern.
Right, I can't even. We'll talk about that during the break.
Okay.
But that's Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. My latest fave, especially at Comic Cons, is I do the Rainbow Connection as Kermit the Frog. Because again, many voices trapped in my head. Hi ho. So that's the thing. So that's the 29th. Just plan on spending all day at Detroit Shipping Company with us because the food is great. So you can get a little drunk, you can sober up, then you can get a little more drunk, then you can get a little more sober, and just ping pong back and forth throughout the day.
And then take an Uber home.
And then hop yourself on one of those bird scooters and do whatever the hell it is people do on those.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Everyone who rides them, I just want to push them over. Anyone.
I don't like them.
Young,
Well, I'm sure you saw the meme that I posted about so it's the guy holding the gas can is Detroit, and then the fire is slow roll and pedestrians that already ignore traffic laws, and then the gasoline going onto the fire is electric scooters.
Yeah,
because that's literally what's happening, right? Because people just leave them freaking everywhere.
And New Detroit is like, is this public transit?
Right.
Is this public transit? Now I have that meme stuck in my head. Beautiful. But
yeah. So speaking of the stupidest,
so now that I took like 10 minutes talking through our schedule, what else we got?
The stupidest story this week. Speaking of fire, comes out to us out of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh my God! This dumb woman.
And it boggles my head to think how she did this because everyone's got times when a big storm blows through, knocks the power out.
Right.
So you reach for a candle or maybe a storm lantern, or
flashlight,
something.
Usually, oh shit, I can't find my batteries, something like that. Yeah.
So this woman grabbed what she thought was a candle.
Yep.
And applied some fire to it and held it up in the air. And it turns out
'twas not a candle,
but was some dynamite.
I feel like
who even has dynamite in their house?
Screw that up.
That's
Was
my
this
question.
her house?
Oh yeah, so I feel like if you have dynamite in your house,
Casually, like.
you have that in a clearly distinct and separate location.
Warning: do not light dynamite
from anywhere that you would keep a candle.
Classic casual dynamite.
I was gonna say, like, are you like the coyote from Roadrunner or what?
It was in a box from Acme, labeled candles.
Now, if she lived in a place like
Foiled
Castle
again.
Rock, Maine, I get it. If you live in the middle of nowhere, Maine, it was a nice Castle Rock drop.
Dude,
because,
speaking of
oh my
which-
God, it was so good.
Are you guys watching Castle Rock at all?
I started watching it and then I got really bored.
Oh my God, it's so good. Start watching it again.
I was like,
and now you're an intern.
la, la, la.
Speaking of what to watch, Marvel's Iron Fist season 2 came out this weekend on Netflix,
Did
and
you
it
binge
is
it?
infinitely better than season 1.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's so much better than season 1. Scott Buck is gone from everything Marvel at this point, so check out Iron Fist Season 2.
Cool.
Nice.
And Castle Rock's on Hulu. Dude, episode 9 was amazing. Cannot wait for the finale next week.
It took me a second to understand what was going on because I had a couple of drinks when I was watching it, but then I got it explained to me and I get it. And there's one more episode left this season.
Next week's the finale. Actually, Wednesday's the finale. 2 days. So yeah. All right. So where do we want to dive there? Let's go. Oh, what a surprise. We've only talked about this, I don't know, a dozen times on the damn show. Net neutrality going away won't harm anything. Well, no, they would never do anything bad because they have the public's best interest at heart, except for the fact that every wireless carrier on the goddamn planet has already been caught throttling Netflix, YouTube, and every other streaming service on the planet.
But we do not automatically throttle our customers, said a Verizon spokesman.
No. The answer is, can you define the word is? I did not have sexual relations with that's how
my Verizon customers.
Yeah, they're not throttling the customer. They're throttling the website and the traffic to their customer, not the customer themselves.
So there's this app called Weehee that you can download for your phone.
I feel like it was is the Michael Jackson found you? Weehee! I feel like that was
it's actually the little known sister of Yoo-Hoo.
You guys planned this, didn't you?
No, this is fresh.
This is what we do.
It's because I'm taking the Bob treatment of 6 Jägermeisters. But they basically could download it and they can check which of your services are being throttled and by whom. And apparently Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, and NBC Sports are all throttled. And Verizon was the worst of it, saying that they were throttled 11,000 times in 3 months when AT&T had almost 8,000, lesser for T-Mobile and then even fewer for Sprint. But still, it's going on.
Could you describe throttled?
So what does that even mean?
So basically, they start
can you use
slowing
it in
the
a
traffic.
sentence?
Okay.
So you're going to see a lot more buffering. You might see a lot of more drop connections. You might see a lot more of that kind of stuff.
It's also slang for to choke someone, to throttle them. It's like.
And Verizon
Can
also
you use that
charges
in a
the
sentence
most, too.
technically?
I throttled the shit out of their network traffic. Can we put that on Urban Dictionary? I think we should.
I feel like that'll be a drop.
All right, cool.
So is it just the cell phone companies, or is it like
Well, so they were specifically talking about the wireless carriers in that article. Yeah.
I think it's maybe harder to manage. I know for a while YouTube had some things on their website that said your connection's being slowed down by your internet provider. They would show you how that was being done. I'm not sure if they still do that anymore.
I haven't seen it. Well, maybe it's just because I'm not getting throttled, but who knows?
Speaking of wacky shit on the internet, apparently, due to direction from our president, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions is now starting up a new coalition of state attorney generals to talk about how all these websites that we use may be hurting competition and
I don't
stifling
know what
free
part of that
exchange.
sentence I hate the most.
I know, right? All of them are bad. Let's break it down in parts.
I can't.
Let's start with our president. Boo.
Actually, no, it's that one.
Where's Bob to give us our comeuppance?
Right, exactly.
Bob is right now groaning in a bar in Denver somewhere.
Like he's
what else
listening.
Bob's usually groaning in a bar.
But what gets me is that all of these companies have their own kind of rules by how you'll play on our platform. No hate speech, no harassment. Those are the basic ground rules for, talking on Facebook or Twitter, etc. So I'm not sure how you can make it a legal issue. And also, these things are not utilities. How do you regulate a for-profit company that chooses how you integrate with their service?
I'm sorry the free service that you use that you are in no way obligated to use has inconvenienced you in some manner.
We have updated the terms of service for your protection.
Exactly. Here's our GDPR.
Right.
In the words of Stephen Colbert, it is a well-known fact that reality has a liberal bias.
Oh, Randy. I'm not even going to tell you to shut up for that one. That was good. So speaking of things that make me want to smoke pot, did you see the Joe Rogan interview with the Tesla CEO?
Yeah, I saw it. So Elon Musk.
Smoking weed?
Musk was blazing up.
He said he doesn't smoke weed often because it gets in the way of his head processes. But I get it. But apparently on the show, he was drinking whiskey and smoking pot, which caused the Tesla shares to take a 9% dip Friday morning.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
I know. What's the problem? And apparently it's a problem.
Well, the problem is so he's sitting there smoking weed, and yet he requires drug testing of all of his employees.
Yeah, an ex-Tesla employee alleges she was fired for failing a drug test.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, he's lighting up on
shit out real fast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he were not like that, then I'd be like, what's the problem?
But the interesting thing about that is he talked about a new startup he's created called Neuralink. Did you see the second half of this?
Yeah.
Where he's basically saying that he's got a technology that could allow humans to interface with AIs using some kind of technology. or
Dude.
to even upload their consciousness into a Black Mirror friendly.
I was gonna say,
style TV
again-
show.
Haven't we
How would
learned
you
from Black
upload your
Mirror?
consciousness?
Black Mirror
Riddle me
just gets
this.
closer
How does that
and
happen?
closer and closer.
I have no
I
idea.
feel like I learned from that episode.
I don't know. Ask Elon Musk when he's
hasn't.
smoking weed. He knows then, apparently.
It's true.
He said, if your biological self dies, you can upload into a new unit. Literally, that was a
Well,
quote.
that was the whole point of the episode was that's a bad idea.
San Junipero was the
Yes.
episode, right? From season
Right.
3?
Well, and also the one where the main character in that episode goes to like this rural like desert museum.
Oh, the finale of season 4.
Yeah,
where the whole
it was-
monkey needs a hug.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And like that was clearly a horrible idea because now this teddy bear is like or monkey is like stuck in a museum.
Well, but that proves something that we all know, which is you don't install the first release of anything.
Yes.
So you don't upload yourself into the first version.
they
of
were
it.
really
Wait
thirsty
till they
to
work
get
the
it out
kinks
there.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like every myth or like children's story about like these like overlords of some sort that want to like live forever, like that's always horrible. Like it never ends well. Like
What kind of stories are you telling your children?
Tuck everlasting.
Oh no. Yeah,
I
there's
don't
like
know.
a whole lot.
One of my favorites though, just from the whole like internet, we talk about IoT all the time. And again, it's a shame Bob's not here, so we can't give him crap about this, Mr. Captain Default Password. Apparently the high roller database at a Vegas casino was compromised through the IoT fish tank.
What do you need an IoT in your fish tank for?
Maybe monitoring the temperature,
thermostats,
feeding.
Yeah, a little feeding, whatever. Yeah, but yeah, so hackers got into and gained control of and retrieved their high roller database because of the open network for their IoT fish tank.
And that was part of an article from Bruce Schneier, who,
Yep.
if you've never read Schneier on security, it's one of the best places on the internet.
Oh,
it.
for a year, yeah.
And he's got a new book called Click Here to Kill Everybody. The dangers and risks of basically having things of IoT connected to the internet. And so grab his book, Schneier.com.
And holy shit, people, put your IoT devices on a VLAN. Jesus Christ.
I
Keep
actually-
it separate from your main network.
I actually attach them all to my guest network. That's how I do mine at home.
Yeah, tell me more about what you think that is. How would one do that?
Do you
Just
have an
for
Eero
listeners?
or
Not for me,
a
no,
mesh
just
routing
for a
device?
friend.
Sponsor of the show, Eero. We might still have an active promo code.
We
Check
do.
them out.
Or you can listen to The Internet Advisor, starring Casson Thomas.
And call them in the second hour, and they'll walk you through it. That's how that works. So I do like this. Vodafone is getting sick and tired of their shit getting hacked. And so now they're basically saying, not only are we not going to be responsible for any damages, but you will be responsible for damages if you have a shitty password. So if your password is like password or 1234 or something stupid that's easily guessed and compromised, you are on the hook.
This makes a really interesting precedent. So what happened was, apparently if you sign up in the Czech Republic for Vodafone software and they ask you in the store, so what pen should I use for this? And the customer's like, I have no idea. It's commonly accepted practice to give them 1234.
Genius.
And a lot of people claim that they had, yes, you're doing this all wrong.
But aren't they salting and hashing their customers' passwords? How do they know you're using an insecure password?
Well, if I just start guessing phone numbers.
Because if I walk into a Vodafone store and I say, I don't know, and they assign me 1234, I'm just going to assume they assign everyone 1234.
So basically, two guys started trying to hack customer accounts just by using the PIN number 1234. Not a very intelligent hack, but apparently it was very successful, and they were able to steal $30,000 US by adding SIMs to people's accounts. So,
good
yeah.
Lord. So yet another breach. This time, British Airways, 1.7 million users worth of data.
Oh, I love that.
Out there.
Hey,
Like
pour out
it's not even worth elaborating on. Just yet another breach.
Can I pour out just a little bit of beer for British Airways?
Yeah,
We should do that for every person who gets hacked.
Dude,
Just like
this
just a little
floor
bit of
would be
beer.
covered. We would be swimming in beer by
It
the end.
smells so good in here, though.
First.
No, the interesting thing about this, though, and I got to give British Airways credit, they pinned a tweet on
Oh, yeah, they went wide-
on
yeah,
their
they were
Twitter
wide
page
open
and
with
said,
it. Yeah.
hey, full disclosure, we screwed up. You may be impacted. Come check us out now on this link. So BA did a good job with that. So good job for handling that.
You can still like America.
And there was one
Thank
I was
goodness. They owned up to it.
I kind of didn't like the headline of the article because the headline of the article said that 42% of people of a certain age group were getting rid of Facebook entirely. And that's not actually what the article said. So what the article said was that 42% of people like 18 to 25 were deleting the app.
Yes.
Which means they still have access through the website, all that kind of stuff. The important thing, though, was that 54% of people have gone through and changed their privacy settings on Facebook since all of the nonsense has come out about, fake news and data sharing and all that kind of stuff. I'm a little annoyed that it's only 54% because granted, I'm in the 46% and my shit's locked down. So, but still, I'm guessing.
I share everything publicly.
Right. I just post it to the world. Who cares? So I'm assuming, but then not everybody in that 46% is in there. So I don't believe, I don't. As much shit as I see on Facebook, I know nobody's deleting their account.
I haven't changed anything, but I'm aware of it. Am I counted as somebody who's done something about it? Like, I'm okay with still sharing
things. I think it
things.
was a Pew Research poll, so they would have asked and said,
have you changed or updated your settings? And if the answer was no, well, the answer is no. No, because mine was already tight enough. I don't care.
I reviewed them, but felt that they were okay. I don't know if they
Then
asked
you're
that.
good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, dude, I feel like late night will never be the same again. Like, we've all had that, all right, it's 2:30, bar is closed, gotta have Conies. Which one of us has cash? We've all had that conversation.
Or where's the ATM in downtown Detroit?
We've all had this conversation. And now Lafayette is changing the game because, let's be real, Lafayette's the one you go to.
True story.
That's all there is to it.
If it's not, you're not real.
Lafayette is now going to start accepting credit cards.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, they already have. I've already used my credit card.
Really?
I agree with it. They want that dollar.
Well, yeah, it floored. Like, I'm so, like, forever.
Get it,
That's just been a thing.
So you're saying that I could park my bird scooter out in front of Lafayette?
Stop talking.
And use my credit card.
If I ever see you on a bird scooter, I'm going to run at you and push you over.
And then tell me to go flock myself.
No,
Yep.
no. 5-minute timeout for Nuri.
I'm wondering, is this because they were worried about losing out customers who didn't have cash, or if because maybe their accountants took a closer look at their books and said, maybe you want to start keeping better track of your money?
Well, I mean, yeah, it is a big, giant cash
I feel
operation.
like American has been taking card for a little bit now.
They have.
The root of this is the competitive
How would you know?
nature.
Have you gone in there?
No, I've just heard from a friend.
I have.
Is that really a friend?
I was like, yes, lunch.
Okay, at least
yes.
has.
I mean, if
It
you
was
want
tasty.
Conies and you don't have cash on you.
You're like, shit.
I dumped a girl because she went to American. Nah.
Oh,
We're keeping that one.
Nope.
That should go in the drop, too.
We like him.
We like him a lot.
He's a keeper.
He's been promoted back to
We think
apprentice.
so too.
Back to apprentice.
So I do love that. So, and we talked about this when the story first broke. I love that Vizio TVs not only have been listening to you this entire time and phoning home with all of the data that they record. Were you not aware of this?
I was not aware.
Oh,
of
yeah, no.
this.
So here's the thing.
horrifying.
You're welcome, Vizio.
Well, but this is what makes me laugh. Is like, how do people not realize? Like, because we talked about this with like Google Home and the Alexa devices and all that kind of stuff. If you only believe it's listening when it hears the wake word, how does it hear the wake word?
right.
So at least Vizio TVs were up for like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're totally recording all the time. We really, really are. And yep, it's all getting sent back to our central servers. And yep, da-da-da. The best part about it is that because as a part of the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit settlement, they are now, if you have Vizio TV, an app is going to start flashing up a pop-up on your screen, basically asking you if you would like to sue Vizio on your Vizio TV.
That's the absolute best.
This is like that the ring part of Scary Movie 3, where they're like, it's there, but like I can't interact with it.
That's amazing.
I think it's the best. Yeah. Also kind of scary that they know what I'm watching.
What are they using this data for? Like, what are they like listening to people?
Well,
like, what?
they said that they were basically trying to anonymize your data and sell viewing habits to advertisers, but then advertisers can then find you on your phone and other devices and target you with advertisements.
Because then we have an IP address and we have a network address and we have a network name and we have and we have this and we have that and we have that. Yeah.
Big data.
Good times are had by all.
I see.
The stories that got me this week too were about how Apple handled the report of one of the top antivirus programs.
Yeah.
So there was a Adware Doctor, which was like number 5 in the App Store, and apparently it was is meant to keep spyware and viruses off your machine, but instead was actually uploading all your browser history to servers in China.
It was keeping all the other malware off of your device.
But it in itself,
malware. was still
and then
taking all your browsing history.
The guy who found this contacted Apple, And a month later, Apple had still not removed it from their app store. So the guy had like conclusive proof, verified by other people, and Apple just basically left it alone.
Well,
It's gone now.
Dollars.
But, yeah. And then there was another one that happened just today where Trend Micro had something very similar for all their products. But they basically said that they uploaded a small snapshot of 24 hours of your browsing history, basically meant to analyze whether you have encountered adware or other threats. And you agreed to it when you clicked the end-user license agreement.
Of course you did.
But I think all their apps are now off the App Store too. So
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of people, we're going to take a quick break. But almost. But wait, there's more.
But wait, then before we dive into the break. So here's the deal. WGU is an online university that's changing lives by changing higher education. Its innovative competency-based learning model was designed specifically to fit the lives of busy adults. WGU is nonprofit and surprisingly affordable, offering bachelor's and master's degree in business, IT, and healthcare. WGU works with industry experts to make sure their degrees are current and relevant so you get the skills and credentials that employers are seeking. Many industry certifications are included in their IT degree programs at no extra cost. And if you already have the certifications, they transfer so you can finish faster. Finishing faster means saving more and graduating with less student debt. It's also about half the cost of most other online universities. WGU graduates work in positions of responsibility for leading companies like Microsoft and Apple, and even the government. Get your $65 application fee waived at wgu.edu/IT in the D. That's wgu.edu/IT in the D to learn more and get your $65 application fee waived. wgu.edu/IT in the D.
That's not bad, Dave.
I mean, I'm no you, but I try.
That's good. And I'm no Bob, but I try as well.
Exactly.
And this is episode 264 of IT in the D Show, and
we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D Show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back to episode 264 of the IT in the D Show, the show where everyone wishes they actually could hear what went on during our breaks.
And if they don't, it's just because they're clueless.
It's the best thing ever. Like, that's why I do the show.
I do. I wish, like, I feel like one of these days, like, and I've said this for 5 years now, I should just leave a task cam in the middle of the table and let it record whatever happens.
You would get so many drops for the intro.
You're welcome.
So welcome to IT in the Dark, IT in the D After Dark.
IT in the Dark is even better.
I mean, IT in the Dark could be better.
Can we turn off the lights? Can we turn off the lights and have IT in the Dark?
This entire episode in the dark. I feel like nothing good comes of that.
Whose hand is that?
Sorry. I'm betting the over is Randy. That's
This hand is too smooth.
Odds are good. It's Randy.
Oh boy.
I am Murray, the not B.O.B., because the real B.O.B. is out in Denver.
He's out in Denver, but he'll be back next week.
Wait, is Nuri not the FNG anymore?
Well, I'm the not B.O.B. today.
Dude, you've been on like 200 episodes. You're not the new
You're
guy.
not the FNG.
Well, but no, he's the FNG until we get a new NG. So it's
Isn't Randy newer?
Yes.
Yeah, but Randy's like,
I'm the bowl of milk.
He is, and
What does that even mean?
we have to understand. Like, we left out. So Randy was our creepy Twitter stalker guy at first. Like,
I do recall.
He was just this guy that like would tweet at us, and so then I was like, and Bob and I would talk like, dude, who the heck is who the F is this Randy guy? Like, I don't know, really creepy. And then then I'm driving to one of our networking events, and I get this like text from Bob, all caps. That Randy guy is here. 9,000 exclamation points. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm turning around. It's like, don't you leave me, Maverick. I'm like, all right, so I went.
Well, that's the story of Randy. I do the Twitter's Walker.
It is.
From Dave the Geek.
Yes.
This episode of IT in the D is brought to you by eBay. Ever think vaping is too expensive? Ever wish you didn't need to buy batteries, coils, a tank, and a bottle just to start vaping? Ever have your batteries...
Erica, do you ever wish you don't have to buy batteries?
I mean...
Ever have your vapes battery die on you at 2 p.m. and you don't have access to a charger? eBay, the new vape system from the creators of Zampobox, changes that. eBay's hardware blends simplicity with top-shelf quality.
Favorite. Favorite
A-Bay
thing.
features a super compact battery, high-capacity pods that are more than twice the capacity of Juul pods, and that features ceramic coils so you don't ever get a burnt hit. It also has 2 charging modes, USB and A-Bay PCC charging, so that you don't have to worry about a dead vape at the end of the day. A-Bay features a perfectly curated lineup of 5 delicious flavors, so you're sure to find one that's perfect for you. Let me tell you about Zample Box.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
My friend Kylie got me started on it, and it's basically like a Pandora for your vape flavors. You tell it some of the flavors you like, and it will send you a certain amount of vape juice bottles a month. And they basically curate, and they're the coolest company, and they give you bucks for using it so you can buy future packs with it. It's just, Zample Box
That's solid.
Is fantastic. So if this is something created by Zample Box, let me at it. For a limited time, get a free A-Bay kit and $10 off each pack of pods on your first order when you sign up for monthly auto ship delivery with 3 or more packs of pods. Plus, all A-Bay auto ship orders get free shipping. Just use the code ITINTHED at checkout when you visit abay.com. That's ABAY.com. And thanks for the support.
Yeah, thanks for the support, guys. That's freaking awesome. And honestly, I'm impressed you made it through packs of pods without stumbling once.
I obviously haven't had enough to drink.
Can you send me that text? Because I've had too much to drink and need to crib some notes for the tweet.
I will send it to you right now.
Thank you.
So this episode we are brought to you by, or we have in studio. Wow. We have 3 more ads before we get started on our show.
I stand corrected. Maybe you did have enough to drink.
Well, in studio, we're joined from the fantastic folks over at Detroit Labs, which is the coolest place for mobile app development in probably the world.
So true.
They have the coolest space. They do so many cool things in the community. But we have Erica, Elise, Kendall, and Elle with us tonight.
Nice.
Kendall and Elle are from the new Apprentice program going on.
Apprentice program Zeta.
Ooh, program Zeta.
Like you're turning them into robots? Oh.
I'm a beta. They're Zetas.
I think you're much more of an alpha.
No, I mean, yes.
She used to be, and then she joined Detroit Labs, and oh my God, the personality change that has happened. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Don't even look at me. Don't look at me. Don't think about me.
See, 4 years ago, you would have never said that. But no, so like for those who aren't familiar, so Detroit Labs, and we've talked about this a bunch of times, like, so, instead of being one of those companies that just bitches about not being able to find people and not be able to find employees to do their thing, they started this apprentice program, which basically, brings people in, teaches them how to do things their way, pays them while they're a part of the apprentice program. And then, hey, if you survive the apprentice program, there's not 2 shabby jobs waiting on the other end of that tunnel for you. So yeah. So I know, so this is the 6th cohort.
This is number 6.
That's crazy.
So how many people apply for an apprenticeship program each time you do this?
I remember getting the email from you because it was like the closing was the week after you were on last time.
Yeah, it was. Do you remember the number? It's always a lot.
You were, you were up over 250 if I recall correctly.
I think it was 264 this time because the betas just beat this group. They were 267 for her group, but usually around 250 for 8 to 10 spots.
That's crazy.
Technically, they had the lowest acceptance rate yet because there were only 8 of them, and that was 264.
But we made it.
So we're sitting in the brackets of greatness right now.
You really are. They're
8
amazing.
out of 264.
Yep.
Can't you see the light shining off of us?
You're just radiant tonight.
See, I would make a Glow Last Dragon reference, but if you never saw the other movies, you never saw the Last Dragon.
Randy is holding up his cell phone camera for everyone at home who can't see the light coming out of your camera, Randy. Makes great radio.
So I guess, let's talk about it. So what drew you guys to the apprentice program at Detroit Labs?
I would say for me, I've always been interested, but I was frankly terrified. Like I was like, I'm not going to be smart enough to do this. There's no way. And one of my best friends actually works at Detroit Labs, and he basically was like, you sit, do. And I was like, all right, I'm in it. Let's do it. And somehow I ended up here. Still don't know how, but
I know how.
It's because you're awesome, obviously.
I think I was sitting at I was actually in a coding boot camp down the road, and I was like, "What is this?" And it came through my email with the apprenticeship program, and I read it, and I originally am like an
here's
English
a program
major.
that might actually help me.
Right, I was like an English major, and I was like, I like how they wrote this. So I was like, maybe it's something I would be interested in, and then from there, just like there was like a subscribe button. and I
Wait, you
pressed
liked
it.
how it was written?
Yeah, I truly, that's why.
I wonder who wrote that text.
I
Did you write
played
it?
with your heart. Got lost in the game.
This is how we are here right now together.
Yes.
So yeah.
They're downplaying it, but these two went through a written application that takes an average of 6 to 8 hours to complete, a intensive interpersonal interview, and 2 rounds of tech interviews, which people who don't know how to code is really, really fun. So they went through a lot, and 264 applicants, so they're pretty amazing.
So, Elle, how was that experience? Have you been through anything like it before? And what was it like going through it?
No, I hadn't been through anything like it before. I think like I'd been in application-based interview processes before, and it was like one interview and like just to see that you could communicate, and that was it. This one was clearly set out to see how you like who you are as a person, which I immediately like latched onto and felt like in that very first interview, which was like interpersonal based, felt like I was out to, or like they were out to see me as a person, which was really cool. So we like spent time on and like actually focused on, and like I was able to like give myself out there. So that was really cool.
So like I like long walks on the beach.
Exactly.
And
It was
reading
kinda like a
Reddit,
dating. It
pina
was literally like
coladas.
I mean, we do speed dating interviews, so really it's a lot like that.
Nice.
It was exactly like that. Yeah.
And so kind of what would you say would be the hardest part of that process for you was? I mean, it sounds like it's super rigorous, but what was the one thing that stood out as like, oh my God, this is going to kill me?
So 2 things. One, the final tech interview, I was like, I don't know what's happening, and there's no way they are picking me.
I cannot give you data structures on this whiteboard.
But I think the second thing was leaving the last night and realizing that if I don't get this, I'm ruined for every other interview process on
That
the
was
planet
you?
Earth.
I heard that comment.
It was like, what interview do you go into and forget you're in an interview and then leave and you're like friends with the people you interviewed with and you aren't trying to like climb over each other, you know?
Yeah. I remember like saying to someone as I walked out and like into the parking garage and was like, well, I hope you get it. And they were like, yeah, I hope you get it too. And we were just like, what? Aren't we competitors?
Is that
we,
how
like,
it's supposed to work?
genuinely, I mean, like, yeah, there was like competition at our hearts, but like, we were also like, we clearly just like went through something together that like felt really positive. So good luck. Genuinely meant it.
So you're 5 weeks in. What didn't you learn? Or what surprised you so far?
How much we've learned. Like going from 0 to, if you told me to make some simple app right now, even if I didn't know the exact syntax or the code or anything like that, being confident that I could figure it out with Google, which is crazy because the first day I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know.
He said that verbatim.
Was day one, slide one, stackoverflow.com?
No, day one, slide one was don't panic.
Don't panic. It's going to be okay.
I said the same thing today about delegates too. So I mean, it's just, you know, like that's how far we've come.
Kendall has been like the one person in our cohort who always like sits back in his chair and is like, so what the hell? like you're always there to ask why.
Kendall keeps me on my toes. Like I'm like, I'll be like studying my slides the night before and I'm like, Kendall's going to ask about this. I better know this.
It's true.
So it's okay. So 5 weeks in, I forget how long it usually goes.
12 weeks.
So you've got 7. So you're almost at the halfway point.
Shh, don't freak him out.
Are you ready for your final project? It starts tomorrow.
That's not freaking people out. So I guess like where do you see things going? Where do you hope things are going?
I see things going. Right now we've been very solo based, not necessarily like no group projects per se. So I see things going in a direction of like understanding what a group project means, because that's very like Detroit Labs is very project based, group based. And I don't really have an idea of what that looks like yet. And I know that's coming very soon. So I guess, and I also like need that to come soon because I need to understand like what the world looks like out there.
Because that's a big deal, right? I mean, you could code on your own, but really you're going to be in a pod.
Yeah, it's not
with
like that at all.
10 other folks working Jira items for bugs and something, right?
Yeah,
So-
I keep hearing like you pick up a card and you do this task, but like there's also maybe like 6 other people doing tasks. So like getting into that idea of like working with other people on a project, I think is what I want to happen. I think actually what is going to happen. Was there one other question in there?
No, that was cool.
Okay.
How about you, Kendall?
I mean, kind of echoing the same things. We're definitely moving towards kind of like, it's like the baby version of Detroit Labs. Like we're going to have like our Trello board and we're going to pull cards.
I love Trello so much. Do you guys use that internally? Trello's the best. I organize my life. It's called Nuri's Death Merge. And I move cards from like to do, must do, no really do this, you asshole. Like, I move cards out all the time in Trello.
So yeah, it's, I can just, we've already done a couple pair projects. Like we have our own hack days and stuff like that where we try to come up with something that works by the end of the day. But yeah, as we get closer and closer towards the end here, I think really just starting to synthesize all those things we learned, because you really don't know the implementation of something until you're like, shit, I just wrote 10,000 arrays. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Let's use like a class or whatever.
So I guess that's a good starting. I should have started with this. Is actually, so like, where were you from a dev perspective before you hopped into the apprentice program? Like, had you done stuff on your own? Had you,
or even like computer experience in general, right? I mean, maybe you weren't a dev, but did you reset the blinking 00s on your dad's VCR? Like, I mean, what was your level of tech before you got into this?
So I've always been interested, but it's been more like hardware based. Like I'm a gadget head, so like I'm always on the verge, like checking out what's going on. But I think just technically the only experience I had was in college. I used geographical information systems, and you can run Python scripts in it. So copying Python scripts off the internet, like plugging them in, is about all the experience I had.
How about you, Elle?
I guess I'll start like a few years ago. Really, like, no, I was an English major, English and film major in school, which I still think is great. And I was definitely the person to always fix my friends' computers and things, and find that interesting and fun. Was like playing Sims for years and things like that, and was like, I don't wonder how this works, but never was like, I can do this on my own. And then my brother got into like self-taught development actually, and like that, even I think that just like knowing someone could teach themselves that thing, and like this skill was like opened up a whole world of thoughts to me, because being from like an English world, it just like wasn't even possible. So to see that was cool. And then I did a boot camp in Detroit at Grand Circus before in the springtime, and that like introduced language bits to me, got me prepared for this a little bit.
So let's say you go back and listen to this 7 weeks from now. What do you want then you to hear from now?
Their voices will be scratchier and deeper. They'll sound more tired.
Be swearing a lot.
More alcohol.
Yeah.
I smoked a dozen cigarettes before the show.
So what do I want my future self to hear right now?
Yeah.
I want my future self to think back like, you thought you knew some stuff, and now you realize, the whole scope of, not the entire scope, but like really what the power of Swift as a software language, and like really sort of, I hope to look back and say, oh, like, remember when you said delegates? What the hell are those? Like, yeah, I kind of got those a little bit.
I'm thinking about like a survey that went out today through Detroit Labs, and like kind of an engagement survey, and I did it and was like writing things I'm excited about. I want to remember those things, I guess, like 7 weeks from now. Maybe I'll feel like bogged down or really tired about like my capstone project, but I want to remember like what those things were that I was really excited about, like all the opportunities for like mentorship and like teaching myself and like pairing up. I just like I'm having lunch with like couple people through this like donut club thing through Detroit Lab, like just a lot of opportunities for engagement, like getting
Where do you
good
get the
stuff other
donuts?
than coding. Probably Dilla's donuts.
So
Yeah.
good.
I heard they're good for you.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
They're really
like
good for you.
Vitamin D.
D
Give
for
some vitamin
donuts?
C.
I was gonna. I'm like, where's my?
So, and then I guess what would you? Because I mean, this is number 6. I'm sure there will be a number 7. What would you tell someone looking to do this next time around?
All right, so full disclosure, I went to the open house, and the panel was like, we were crying on the floor, and like we don't know what was happening. And
This
how
was a panel of former apprenticeship graduates.
Yeah.
So I think I would just tell the next person, the next group, you're going to go in and you're going to have to try to synthesize a lot of information very quickly. Be okay with being stuck. And if you have to just sit and swear at your computer, just do it. Like, let it all out, because you will get stuck. I have seen developers at Detroit Labs who know a lot and who are very smart still get stuck.
Everyone vapor locks. Everyone.
Exactly. So just like being comfortable and being patient with yourself.
And that's one of those lessons that'll help you in life too, as a coder or anything that you're doing. You're going to run to these places where you're just like, holy shit, I'm so pissed off at this thing. And that's when I get up and I walk around my house.
Exactly.
Or I'll go walk around the block. And I'll come back and they give you just a little bit of clarity and like, oh shit, I didn't look at it this way.
It's the best debugger in the world to walk around the block.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think my only addition to that is something that Anne, who a developer at Detroit Labs, who kind of sent this piece of knowledge onto me, which is something that's just like something to very basic to remind ourselves, which is that we're doing something that's very hard. And like even that line, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I like have a little bit more mercy on myself, and then I like am able to, even that like little bit of mercy allows myself to like be like, okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm just not right now. And like kind of like allow myself some patience.
Yeah, just because someone else can make it look easy doesn't mean it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I mean, you know they don't get any mercy from me, so.
So we have to dispose mercy onto ourselves, and also helps. Yeah, so probably that, like you're doing something hard, so don't be so, if you have a tendency to be hard on yourself, don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, on that point about things being hard, you got to think about these companies in Silicon Valley. Like the average, I think the median salary for Facebook for a software developer is $240,000 a year. Damn. Like that's West Coast salaries, so that's bullshit
wild.
compared to living here.
Right.
Like you could cut that number in half and basically get a Detroit number.
Yeah.
But still, like programmers are powerful, and you get paid a lot because it's a hard job. And just remembering that, and just being diligent and never giving up, even if you get stuck. Those are all great lessons that you guys are going to take. Sounds like this has been super rewarding for y'all. But I have to touch on this with Elise and Erica. This has to be super rewarding for you as well, right? So tell us about what you as leaders and maybe even you as a company get out of having these amazing apprentices in your program.
And Erica's going to tear up.
I've never cried on this show.
We're going to have some real feels.
Okay, so earlier this year, I was hiring a second coach for my team, so somebody who was in the classroom with me and helps teach. So one of the people that I interviewed for that said, what's the best part of the job? And the best part of the job is that now, after we've completed 5 classes, this is 6. So I get to walk through Detroit Labs, and on every single team, I see people who are building cool things and who are functioning as tech leads and who are leading cool initiatives in Detroit Labs, who are asking questions and pushing us and making us better as a company. And they would never have come through our doors if we didn't have this program. And so even if I made every mistake in the book and I failed them in innumerable ways during the program because I was always learning, and I'm still always learning, they got through and they learned this thing, and now they're doing this amazing stuff with us. And I get to see that every day. Crap.
You should say the brief part of what you told the betas at our dinner on Friday. So I was
okay, I'm going to tell you.
So for those that don't know, I was a beta apprentice for Detroit Labs. It was Erica's like first full on class. She was like second part of the class for the alphas. But I was full on beta with Erica, like teaching it entirely. And so my class like went through it, and we I think there's like 6 or 7 of us left at
It's
Detroit
still
Labs.
at Detroit Labs,
And I wasn't, before the apprenticeship class, I was in marketing, and I went through the program, and then afterwards I was actually perfect for marketing at a tech company, because then I had like a year's, applicable experience with building software. So then it was like marketing and software development. So now I'm director of marketing at Detroit Labs. So it was like all sorts of things that sort of worked out for me. But in the long run, Erica made this wonderful speech last Friday.
It was the 4-year anniversary of the beta class, which was the first class that I ran the program. So they were my guinea pigs that I learned everything on and didn't know things. And
she was great.
So I talked about all those, I talked about why each one of them is so special to labs in various ways, and they all are in different ways. But for me, I look at them and I remember going to my boss and saying, Elise cries in every one-on-one, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I remember saying, I can't get this person to believe in themselves. And I think this person already knows more Java than me. I don't know how to teach them. And this person is challenging me in this way, and this person is challenging me in that way. And every apprentice that I ever teach challenges me in a different way. And so I look at them and I see the ways they made me better. So yeah, for me personally, that's pretty amazing.
Very cool.
So when's your next class after this one? Do you have one on the calendar?
We get through the one we're in, and then we look at everything, and then we figure that out.
You go on vacation to Hawaii.
Idaho, actually a horse ranch with no service.
Wait, where? Coeur d'Alene?
Not talking about it.
I have recos for Idaho, Idaho.
The entire point is she's going into hiding. I think something
Witness protection program.
Yeah.
I have recommendations.
No, after my first program, I came back to the office, and my boss was like, I don't want to see you for 2 weeks. Go away. Do something else. And so I realized, after the program, it's good to take a break and decompress and then come back and be fresh for the next thing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nice. So where do we find out more about Detroit Labs?
DetroitLabs.com.
Awesome.
Sweet. Well, this has been a great episode.
Let's call it a wrap. Anything we missed?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Sweet. This is going to wrap it up for episode 264. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors tonight. eBay, WGU,
Merit.
I'm
Turtle. Turtle, the All Turtles podcast.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Usually Bob has these all written in notes.
I know.
And I just tried to wing it, and I got 2/3 of the way through, which is pretty much the story of my entire life. But seriously, Kendall L., it's a pleasure having you on the show tonight.
Thank
so
you.
good hearing your
best of
stories.
luck through the rest of the course, and
Thank
that's
you so
awesome.
much.
And Erica and Elise, thank you so much for bringing these wonderful people into our studio for a great session. Thanks always to the folks out at Detroit Labs for all that they do.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's going to wrap it up for episode 264. I am Murray, the Not B.O.B. We've got Randy, the I Do the Twitter's Walker. We've got Dave, the Geek.
And even though he's not here, let's just go ahead and do it. So, hey, drink your drinks,
drinks.
get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. Drive careful. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Vlad. You've saved your ass. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing. The alphabet. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.